All right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the true power with General Soon said he kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to not only the Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page, but also the General Seti YouTube page, two dynamic powerhouse institutions dropping heavy mental on YouTube. You want to subscribe to both. You want to become a member of both. The links is right down in the video description, is in the chat right now. All you had to do is just click it. You'll get a video introduction to own the memberships and what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarah Soon Seti General Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarah Soon Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like it and love it. I want you to get on over there, check out that catalog, get you a discount, shop and save and shop. I don't even know why I have my flyers up there. I'm tripping. Let me get it up here so I can rock out like I'm supposed to. That's right. Supposed to rock out like I'm supposed to. That's right. And so here we go. Wait a minute. Let me get the right one on there because it's that time. That's right. Pull the fire alarm. That's right. Pull the fire alarm. GeneralSeti.com, Seti University. We're talking about over 2,500 videos on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, and all that, family. We got over 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love, from the general to raw for you to when Egypt ruled the earth, the global Kushite Empire, old Mecca voyages of the Nile, and ancient Black America, the making of the white man series. You already know that's frying and fire. You know, from Naga the nigga, the African origins of the Hindu Kush. We got them. We did to make it the Black Illuminati, hip hop occult, Freemasonry exposed, and so much. All the religions, all the isms. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Gnosticism, alchemy, metaphysical, occult. We got it all. Get over there today. There's no other website nowhere on the planet that could compare, compete. Become a member today. Everybody knows Seti popping on Patreon. BPC making noise. We never come. We got that file up there right now. You should get up there and see it. 5 shocking facts that prove the old Mex were a colony sent from Egypt. It's up there right now. It's on fire. All you have to do is pick the one. All of them on fire. You see, also, just put this one up just the other day, how the righteous black god Osiris became the Serapis Jesus. We got that up there right now. Also, we got our Black Americans, the true rulers of Africa. Is this why we are hated by so many continental Africans? Got to drop it. Somebody got to say something. You see, we got to face the truth. You see, tomorrow we got heavy mental ancient Egyptian gods in the Star Trek movie. Also, Narmer, the first king of Egypt. The Patreon on fire. If you ain't over there, you missing a whole hell of a lot. I don't know what you're up here for. Get over there and get that extracurricular, more advanced blueprint from the general, because it's most definitely going to take you into the depths of the cosmos, believe it. And so, and to all the family out there that donated to the general, I thank you. I appreciate you. To those that would like to donate, the link is right there on the screen. It's in the chat. It's in the video description. Click it, donate, and I thank you and I appreciate you. And make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels: King Seti, General Seti, Sarah Soon Seti. Rock that notification bell, get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, share it with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. Here we go, family. Did Moses write the original Torah in the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs? You see how I line them up, family? See, I be lining them up. You see, I be lining them up, leading them out. You know, they say Moses led the Israelites out of goddamn Egypt. And General said he led all his African people out of the Bible. You see, I did the same thing and shit. I opened up the veil, got the key open up the veil and let them right on out. What am I saying? Right. Because y'all don't see, because if you don't have a master teacher, and I'm not saying this to put myself, because I've been studying it long enough to show you the key. I taught it through my studies, and nobody teach it to me. I taught it to myself. You see, I be coming from where motherfuckers ain't never came before. You see, please believe it when I tell you these things. You see, and so we had to understand one thing when we talk about Moses. He's a character, but he's a profound character, because so many people attribute so much to this man, you know, and really the foundation of everything in the Bible is on the shoulders of Moses. You see, it's on the shoulders. And so if you can, if you know, that's about the first character you got to master. You know, you have to master him. And because once you master Moses, you got the Bible in a chokehold, period. Old and New Testament. If you got Moses, if you didn't master Moses, you got the Bible in the chokehold, for real. And so that's most definitely. And so what are we saying here? Then Moses, what is the Torah? Now the Torah is technically the first 5 books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers. Is that right? Deuteronomy and Numbers. And the first 5 books is considered the Torah. And it is the foundation of the whole Bible. In Genesis, it says that it talks about Adam and Eve, Abraham, Noah. You feel me? Then Exodus talks about, and also Exodus talks about the birth of Moses. And people don't realize that both books, Genesis and Exodus, open up in Africa. Both of them open up in Africa, because the Garden of Eden is in Ethiopia. And then when Exodus opened up, Moses is on the Nile. He's floating down the river. The first story in Exodus is Moses floating down the river. So Genesis and Exodus open up in Africa. You got to, that's a fact that you got to capitalize off of. You got to capitalize off of that. That both books opened up in Africa. And the author of the book is Moses, is the very first author. So that right there show you that Africa is older than the Bible. That right there, those very 2 facts. You understand what I'm saying? Those very 2 facts, because Moses supposedly wrote the Bible, and when the book Exodus opens up, he's a baby floating down the Nile, and Egypt is already ancient. So that right there show you that Africa is older than the Bible. I mean, goddamn, you can't capitalize off of that. There ain't no way you can work that, huh? You can't work that, can you? Yeah, I'm trying to give you the, but it's the truth. It's the goddamn truth. And so, yeah, we most definitely know that Africa is more ancient than the Bible, far more ancient. Okay. But, you know, what's clear about this, because what am I trying? I'm trying to show the people that the original Bible looked no different than the Egyptian papyruses. And I'm not saying just paper, in the language. If that man, because wait a minute, let's deal with this. Let's get this up here. Where my work, man? Let me go to work. Okay, here we go right here. Let me go to work. Right, here we go. And so here, Acts 7, 22, 24, King James Version, and we start at verse 22, and it says, and Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, and was mighty in words and in deeds. You see, and when he was a full 40 years old, it came unto his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. And so this is very significant, family, that a lot of people don't bring up. That Moses was learned, he was educated in Egypt for 40 years. This is the only, and this is all, this was his first education. He didn't have no other education. Nowhere else in the Bible does it say that Moses had any other education than the one that was in Egypt. Okay? And so we have to understand this man lived, and not only was he born in Egypt, I mean, goddamn, by the time Moses had been enslaved, had been born, the Israelites supposedly had been enslaved about 300 years. Over 300, about 300 years, they had been in slavery before Moses was born. You see? So that means that many of the so-called Israelites were actually Egyptians. You see, they were Egyptians. They had been living in Egypt, you know. And so what language you think they taught? What language do you think they spoke? They didn't speak no goddamn Hebrew because there was no goddamn Hebrew. I want y'all to quit lying on this goddamn language that people call Hebrew. Was no goddamn Hebrew, okay? Hebrew is the Canaanite language. I'm sick of you niggas keep lying and shit, talking about some goddamn Hebrew. Ain't no Hebrew. That's the language that they call in Hebrew is Canaanite Phoenician language. God damn it, the Bible never mentions anything about no damn Hebrew. It says the language of Canaan. And so they didn't get that. They didn't get that language until they left Egypt and conquered the Canaanites. And then they adopted, not only did they adopt their language, that's when they went to speak in El. You know, El, Israel, and Bethel, and Gabriel, and Uriel, and Michael, and Bethel, and all the L's and shit. You know, El Shahada, and all of this. El. That's the Canaanite Phoenician language. So ain't no goddamn Hebrew. And they did not get that language until they conquered the land of Canaan. And that was after they left Egypt. So when we talking about in culture and we talking about in spirit, so they was worshiping the ancient Egyptian deities. The Bible also says that we had to quit letting these people lie to us. These are some fabricated scrolls that have been manipulated. Yes, the truth is still there because they didn't expect no great scholar like General Sarasun said he would be born in these days and time. That go in there and crack the goddamn scrolls, you see, and reveal the wisdom to the people, you see. So what I'm saying to y'all, what y'all have to understand that, and you have to listen to me when I tell you, Acts 7:22 20 through 24, and it says, and Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egypt. Well, I didn't even put 24 in there. And when he was a full 40 years old, it came into his heart to visit his brethren, the children of Israel. So he was he was 40 years old, and it don't say how he come to know that he was that the Israelites was his brethren. Don't say. Just say it came into his heart, okay, to visit his brethren, the children of. So he was 40 years old. So he was educated in Africa. He was educated in the temples, which means he was a priest. He worshiped as an Egyptian, an Ethiopian Cushite, because he married a Cushite woman, and that don't mean that he was different. He was a Cushite his goddamn self, according to the book. We know that this is a parable, but there's truth in this parable that's gonna lead the people back to the real scriptures in the Nile Valley in Africa. When they see that, okay, well, Moses was learned and all, then what was he learned in? And then we take them back and we show them the temples. That's right. We show them all the scrolls that come up out of Africa, you see? And Moses was learned. And so now we have an understanding there. Now, because we understand that he was educated in Africa, God also commanded that Moses. Now, wait a minute, let me back this up just so I can show you that in the Bible, it does not use the term Hebrew. If you go to Isaiah 19:18, it says, in that day, 5 cities in Egypt will speak the language of Canaan and swear allegiance to the Lord Almighty. Okay, so it was never called Hebrew. It was called the language of Canaan, which is the Phoenician language, which is akin to the Egyptian language and the Cushite language. That's what it's akin to. Okay, the alphabet also, the Phoenicians also come out of the ancient Egyptian language. So this is a Cushite bloodline. So let us be clear about this. It ain't got nothing to do with no Yul Brenner and no goddamn Charleston Heston or none of that. Okay. So once we understand now, why did I specify and I spoke about? Because Moses never was allowed to go into the land of Canaan. You know why why Moses and the Israelites was in the desert. Moses did something to forsake. He forsake God. He forsake God, and God punished Moses and told him that he would not enter into the land of Canaan. You know, he would not enter. So when the Israelites went into Canaan, it was Joshua that led the Israelites into Canaan, not Moses. So Moses never even knew the language of Canaan. So he didn't write it in no Hebrew. He didn't write it in Canaanite. He wrote it in the only language in which he had been educated in, spoke for over 40 years. And it says right here, and it says Exodus 34:27 through 29. And the Lord say unto Moses, write these words, for after the tenor of these words, I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. Okay, and so let's say it again. And the Lord say unto Moses, write thou these words. So what language would he write it in? He don't, I mean, there is no Canaanite yet because they have never went into Canaan. The only language that he was learned in was the Egyptian language. So when he wrote the original Torah, the only language that Moses could have wrote that book in is the ancient Egyptian script. You know, they be lying like a motherfucker, man. And I mean that to the bottom of my heart. They be lying like a motherfucker. I seen two rabbis. You see, two rabbis sit up there and they was talking about the Kabbalah and shit. And they was talking about how God created the earth and created the universe and shit. And that he used the word and how he spoke everything into existence and shit. And he compiled the letters and then he spoke things. And when he spoke it came into being. Everything that you see, every animal, every planet and everything, he spoke it into existence. And it was two rabbis. And one rabbi asked the other rabbi, what language did he use? And he said, of course, Hebrew. Now I'm thinking to myself, you lying motherfucker. Because I know, and you should know, if you didn't sat in General Studies class, that there is no Hebrew. What they call in Hebrew is the Canaanite language. So you mean to tell me, you see, so when they say they speak Hebrew, they say to them, you mean Canaanite, right? That's all you had to. You mean Phoenician, right? You know, that's what you speaking. That's exactly what you speak. Okay. And you ain't even got the ancient Canaanite Phoenician. You speaking some Yiddish and some goddamn German. You speaking Ashkenaz. That's what you speaking. And these niggas sit up here because in the German and the Ashkenaz, they don't use the J. They use the Y. And so these niggas saying, oh, that's where they get the Yehuda. And yeah, see, they think I don't know. Yeah, I got your ass. That's the German Yiddish grammar. You see the rules of grammar where they didn't have no J and they used the Y, and people thinking that this some ancient grammatical rule and shit that come out of Germany. Fools. Talking about they didn't use the J, they used the Y. I say, nigga, who the hell you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? So now they Yehuda and oh nigga Yehuda. That's what I say. Yehuda. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. And so so once you understand that, is that, you know, and then see, once you explain this to the people that you know, Moses spoke Egyptian, he wrote in the Egyptian script. Then when they see the Nile Valley and they see the Cushite and they see the Phoenician languages and the Carthaginian, and then they gonna want to study that, you see, and get to the root for themselves. You know, they gonna want to go to the original text of their ancestors and cut them lies. But you got to show the people the truth. And so, yeah, if Moses wrote any Torah, he wrote it in the only language, and he would not have ever wrote it in quote unquote Hebrew, because Hebrew is Canaanite, and Moses never went to Canaan. He had no knowledge of no goddamn Canaanite, because Moses never went to Canaan. The Israelites adopted Canaanite when they left Egypt, and they conquered the Canaanites, and then they adopted that language. So the El and all of that. And so when you think about that, see, because I could keep going. So when they was in Egypt, they couldn't have been no Israelites. How could they been Israelites? I don't understand that. They hadn't adopted the language of El yet. So they hadn't adopted no goddamn term called no Israel. See, I want y'all to worry. I want you to follow me when I tell you this. They hadn't even adopted the Canaanites. So how in the hell could Jacob be called Israel if they hadn't even went into Egypt? That's about 500, you know, that's about 400 years before, close to 500 years before they even adopted the language. And they're going to tell you that God changed Jacob's name to Israel, and El is Phoenician. So what the fuck is you making? What are you? Yeah, man, come on, man. Quit lying. Y'all motherfuckers is lying, man. So we got to wake them up, family. Them tablets, you understand? Just like the laws and all of that came from the original Cushite Egyptian scrolls that y'all see in the Holy Land of the Nile Valley, Egypt, Cush, Canaan, Aksum, all the way into the depths, interior of Africa. Okay, that's where it came from. Ain't no Aramaic and that too, but that's later. All of that is later. All of that is later. You see what I'm saying? And all of that is later. All that so-called, you know, all these damn what is the languages? Afro-Semitic. Some of them Afro-Semitic languages ain't even Afro. Them motherfuckers are Semitic, meaning that they some plagiarized languages that they didn't put together, that they didn't attach to the holy languages to give them some, you know, like a trap door into the sacred sciences. That's all. That's all it is. You know, and so we got to give up on them other ones and deal with the ancient, the more ancient, because you can never go wrong. You can never go wrong with that. So we just had to explain to the people that Moses wrote the original, and we know and please don't tell Moses didn't live. It's a parable, nigga. We trying to get our people out of the King James Version back into the sacred languages of the Nile and of the African Kushite Empire. This is what we trying to do, and we gonna do it because we speaking nothing but the truth. I want any and all the family on here right now to subscribe. I want you to subscribe. I want you to hit that like button. I want you to share right now. Don't you get up off of here unless you subscribe unless you like it, and make sure you share it to your page. Make sure put the general up there, man. If you got a page, goddamn it, put the general on there. You feel what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers gonna say, man, what that you got on there? Man, that shit was deep. You feel me? All right, family. Appreciate you. We'll be right back. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black Pop.